At Westfield High, the hallways were always loud and full of energy. Students rushed from class to class, teachers gave quick reminders, and lockers slammed shut in every direction. In the middle of all the noise, there was someone most people didn't notice: Mr. Thompson, the janitor. Mr. Thompson was an older man with a kind face and slow steps. He always wore the same faded blue uniform, and old brown boots that squeaked when he walked. His hands were rough from years of hard work, and he often carried a mop or a trash bin. He never talked much, but when he did, his voice was soft and calm. Most students didn't bother to say hello. Some even laughed behind his back. A group of popular kids once joked that he lived in the janitor's closet and talked to his mop like it was a pet. They made fun of the way he dressed and how he always smelled a little like cleaning spray. Even some teachers acted like he didn't belong. Mia noticed all of this. She was quiet and sat near the back in most classes. She didn't have a big group of friends, but she paid attention to things others ignored. Every time she saw Mr. Thompson being treated badly, something twisted in her stomach. It just didn't seem fair. He was always polite, always working hard, but no one seemed to care. Still, Mia stayed silent. She didn't know what to say. She just kept watching and waiting, because deep down she felt like there was more to Mr. Thompson than what people saw. It happened on a rainy Tuesday. Students crowded into the cafeteria, laughing and talking over each other. Trays clattered, chairs scraped, and someone had spilled juice on the floor near the back door. Mr. Thompson was already there with his mop, quietly cleaning up the mess. A group of seniors walked by and saw him. "Careful guys," one of them smirked. "You don't want to step on Mr. Mop's fancy red carpet." The others laughed. One of the boys nudged Mr. Thompson's mop bucket with his foot, spilling a little water. "Oops," he said, grinning. Mr. Thompson didn't say anything. He just bent down slowly and started to clean it up again, as if nothing had happened. Mia sat nearby, trying to ignore it. Her stomach tightened. She stared at her lunch tray, hoping someone else would speak up. No one did. Then another voice rang out, louder this time. Maybe if he worked faster, the school wouldn't smell like a bathroom. More laughter. That was it. Mia stood up, her heart pounding. "Why are you doing that? He's just doing his job." The table of seniors turned toward her. One girl raised an eyebrow. "What's your problem, Mia? Want to join the janitor club?" More giggles. Mia felt her cheeks burn, but she didn't sit back down. "He cleans up after all of us," she said, her voice shaking. "He works harder than half the people in this school." One of the boys rolled his eyes. "Relax, we're just joking." "It's not funny," Mia said quietly. The room got strangely quiet for a second. Then someone snorted, and the laughter started up again, this time at her. Mia sat back down, blinking fast. Her hands trembled, and her throat felt tight. She wished she could disappear. As Mr. Thompson pushed his mop bucket past her, he paused for a moment. "Thank you," he said softly, just loud enough for her to hear. She looked up and saw something different in his eyes, something strong, something proud. And that was the moment everything began to change. After that day, Mia couldn't stop thinking about Mr. Thompson. She watched him more closely around the school. While most students ignored him or laughed, he quietly helped wherever he was needed. Sometimes he smiled at the little kids in the hall, or helped teachers carry heavy boxes. One afternoon, Mia stayed late after school. She wanted to thank him properly. She found him in the janitor's closet, fixing a broken light bulb. "Mr. Thompson," she said softly, "why do you keep working here, even when people don't respect you?" He paused, then looked at her with tired eyes. "You know, Mia," he said, "I haven't always been a janitor." Mia blinked. "What do you mean?" He smiled faintly. "Once I was in a very different place. I ran a company, a big one, but life doesn't always go the way you plan." Curious, Mia asked more questions, but Mr. Thompson only shared small pieces. He told her he lost everything after trying to expose something wrong in his old business. "Sometimes doing what's right costs a lot," he said. Mia felt a new respect growing inside her. This was a man who had stood up for what mattered, even when it ruined his life. Yet here he was, still working hard, still kind. Days passed, and Mia noticed other small things about Mr. Thompson. How he remembered students' names, how he quietly fixed broken desks without asking for thanks. She saw the respect the younger kids showed him, even if older students did not. Slowly, a question formed in Mia's mind: why did no one else know this story? Why was Mr. Thompson treated like a joke when he had once been someone important? Her quiet heart pushed her toward a plan. Maybe she could help others see the truth, just like she did. But she didn't know how. Then one afternoon, a rumor spread across the school, a rumor that would change everything. A week after Mia's conversation with Mr. Thompson, the school was buzzing with news. Did you hear? Some students whispered in the hallways. The school board is having a big meeting next week. They're talking about cutting staff, another said, biting her lip nervously. Some teachers might lose their jobs. Mia felt her stomach tighten. She knew how hard everyone worked, especially people like Mr. Thompson. She wondered if he was safe. The next day, Mia overheard two teachers talking near the staff room. Have you heard? Mr. Thompson's been invited to the board meeting, one said, surprised. Really, why would the janitor be there? The other replied, confused. Mia's heart jumped. She had no idea. She thought about Mr. Thompson's quiet strength, his hidden past, and the way he carried himself. There was definitely something more to him. As the days passed, more rumors spread. Some students whispered that Mr. Thompson might have a secret role at the school. Others laughed and said it was a mistake. Mia wanted to believe the first. On the day of the board meeting, the school felt different. The usual chatter was quieter, replaced by nervous looks and whispered guesses. Mia wished she could be there to see what Mr. Thompson would say. She hoped he would speak up for the school, and for the people who worked hard every day. No one could have guessed what would happen next. The morning of the board meeting arrived, and the school was unusually quiet. Most students and teachers went about their day with nervous energy. But Mia couldn't stop thinking about Mr. Thompson. She wanted to see him speak, to finally understand the man behind the mop. Curious, Mia and a few friends decided to sneak into the building where the meeting was being held. They found a small window nearby, and peeked inside. The boardroom was large and formal. People sat around a polished table, dressed in suits and ties, talking quietly. At the front of the room, Mr. Thompson stood out, not because of his clothes, which were still his usual faded uniform, but because of the calm way he carried himself. When the meeting started, the school principal spoke about the budget cuts and the challenges the school faced. Everyone looked worried. Then it was Mr. Thompson's turn. He walked to the center of the room with confidence. Slowly, he took off his jacket, revealing a neat shirt and tie underneath. It was clear he wasn't just the janitor everyone thought he was. He spoke quietly at first, but his words grew stronger. I've worked here for many years, he said. Not just as the janitor, but also in ways you might not know. He pulled out a folder filled with documents and reports. I was once a businessman. I lost everything after trying to expose corruption in my company. But I never stopped caring about people or education. He explained how he had quietly been donating money to the school, fixing broken equipment, and even setting up mentorship programs for students who needed help. The board members looked surprised. I am here because I believe this school deserves a chance, he said firmly. Cutting staff won't fix our problems. We need to work together, support each other, and invest in our future. For the first time, the room was silent, not with tension, but with respect. One board member nodded slowly. Mr. Thompson, your dedication is remarkable. Your ideas will be carefully considered. Mia watched, her eyes wide. She felt tears prick at the corners of her eyes. The man who had been ignored and laughed at was now standing tall in front of the people who mattered most. When the meeting ended, Mr. Thompson left quietly. Mia and her friends followed him outside. Thank you, Mia said softly. He smiled, this time with a lightness she had never seen before. You stood up for me when no one else did, he said. That took courage. Mia realized that day something important. True strength isn't about how people see you. It's about what you believe and how you act, even when no one is watching. After the board meeting, things at Westfield High slowly began to change. The whispers about Mr. Thompson turned into quiet conversations about respect. Students who once laughed now nodded politely when they saw him in the halls. Teachers stopped ignoring him, and even asked for his advice on small problems. Mia noticed the difference, and she felt a quiet pride in her heart. She remembered how scared she was the day she spoke up for Mr. Thompson, how the laughter made her want to disappear. But standing up had mattered, more than she ever imagined. One afternoon, as Mia walked past the school office, she saw Mr. Thompson helping a group of younger students fix a broken chair. The children smiled up at him like he was their hero. It was a small moment, but it said everything. Mia realized that sometimes, the people we see as simple or unimportant carry the heaviest stories inside. They have strength hidden beneath the surface, waiting for someone to notice. And sometimes, all it takes is one person brave enough to speak up. Mia knew she would never forget Mr. Thompson. Thompson's courage, or the lesson he taught her that respect and kindness can break down walls and change the world, one small step at a time. The janitor wasn't just the man who cleaned the school, he was a reminder that everyone deserves a chance to be seen and heard. And in the end, that made all the difference.